Said this meeting is being recorded. So press continue on the screen.
We'll start with Nick Suss.
Charlie, just what is the team's overview of heading up north a little bit and coming to Oxford for this regional? Just what's the expectation for the environment you're going to face, and just what kind of fan base might travel for this?
Yeah, I think our fan base will travel pretty well. As a team, we're looking forward to the opportunity to come up here. We're playing really good baseball right now, so I think it's a good opportunity. And our overall expectation is we want to come out on top and get to that super regional.
Obviously, the perception about this team from afar is that it's a very pitching-focused team. What do you think the offense brings to the table for this regional?
I mean, recently I think our offense has come alive. At the beginning of the year, I think we struggled a little bit just because guys were pressing. But I think as we kind of realized what our pitching staff was capable of doing, as we saw in the fall, and as they've done their thing every time they've gotten on the mound, we've kind of come to the realization that we can just relax and play ball. And Coach Barry says it all the time. We just got to have fun. And I think our offense is finally starting to do that. And I think it's slowly coming around, which has been fun to watch.
If you have a question for Charlie, please raise your hand.
Recording in progress.
If there are no further questions for Charlie, well, no, Trey has raised his hand. Trey, please go forward with your question.
Yeah, Charlie, kind of branching off of that whole thing about the offense, I guess with this regional being so pitching heavy, we've kind of been talk to y'all this week about how important it is, just like not letting any opportunity get away when you're at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, I think every time we're playing a game, just taking advantage of opportunities that present themselves is huge for us. Our coaches do a good job of doing overview on what we're going to see, just our overall approaches at the plate. But I think we're going to really attack that and just kind of utilize that to our advantage and take advantage of pitches that we see. And obviously, we need to take advantage of opportunities that we present ourselves with. But I think it'll be, at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing is cashing in on those opportunities.
Just kind of following up on that, y'all got Hunter on the mound. I'm assuming y'all going to be facing Florida State's ace tomorrow. I guess when it's a big pitching matchup like that, how excited does the offense get knowing that, runs are going to be at a premium?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a big game at this point in the year. Just any team you're going to play, that you're going to see arms, you're going to see dudes. It's a very good feeling knowing that we got a guy like Hunter Stanley on the mound for us, knowing that he's going to do his part and we just need to do ours. So like I mentioned earlier, just taking advantage of opportunities that we present ourselves with. And I think we'll be in a good spot if we can do that.
We'll go to Taylor.
Charlie, just I wonder what you can learn from the conference tournament. Obviously, it didn't turn out the way you guys wanted, but you guys played some really competitive baseball, and you were kind of thrown in some situations. You kind of saw every situation you can in a baseball game over the course of those 3 days. What can you take away from that? And going into a regional where it's going to be kind of similar, how competitive it'll be, what can you kind of take into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just the biggest thing from that conference tournament was we kind of saw every opportunity that presented itself, whether it was good or bad. I think the biggest thing for us is just learning from those opportunities, whether it's closing a game out and not being satisfied with the lead or just continually pushing on offense or defense. Just like you mentioned, just those opportunities presented themselves and we could learn from them. And that's the biggest thing in this regional, just kind of learning from those opportunities, I guess, learning from what happened and just taking the positives away is the biggest thing.
Keith?
Sure. What has been the biggest difference, I guess, in the uptick of offense towards the end of the year? I've heard Coach Barry say, it was such a long time for you guys before you got back to baseball, but now it seems, is that one thing that maybe has got y'all going a little bit, that you're finally getting, after that long layoff for the whole year, finally getting your swings back and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was good for this offense just to kind of take a break and just kind of step back and look at it and be like, man, we're playing baseball with our friends. Like, we just need to have fun. Like I said earlier, I think at the beginning of the year, we were pressing a little bit too much. And each individual is trying to do a lot for themselves. And I think after that break, I mean, Coach Barry has just been having fun, and our offense has kind of stepped back and looked at it like, just enjoy the process, just enjoy playing with your friends, and go out there and play relaxed baseball and starting to work out.
Go to Parrish Alford.
Hey, Charlie, what kind of fan support did you guys receive this year? I know we started off without, with the limitations in attendance, and then the mask mandates were removed. I mean, what were crowds like for you guys in Hattiesburg this year?
The crowds are great. Although we did have limitations, like you just mentioned, Hattiesburg faithful always showed up. Our fans have been great since day one. Whether it's going good or bad, they always got our back. So whether we had a limitation or not, they were always showing up. They were showing out. So it was super. We're very grateful for them.
Heath, do you have another question? Is there anybody else that has a question for Charlie? If not, Charlie, thank you for your time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Up next for Southern Miss will be Hunter Stanley. If you're going to have a question for Hunter, please use the hand raise feature and we will call upon you. Heath, if you have a question, go with it.
Hunter, going into the regional, if you're looking at Florida State, what's the one thing you're going to have to do on the mound to stay ahead of batters and do what you want to do to come out with a win?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be, commanding my fastball to both sides of the plate. That's something me and Coach Oz have talked about, and really, whenever I've been able to do that throughout the season, I've had the most success. So I don't think it's any different here. I know there are going to be some guys in that lineup that can, make you pay if you make a mistake. But I think moving the fastball both sides of the plate is really going to be key.
Again, please use the hand raise feature if you would like to ask a question here to Hunter. We'll go to Trey.
Yeah, Hunter, I don't know if they've officially announced who they're pitching tomorrow, but assuming, it is Messick going for Florida State, how excited does that get you when it's like, you going up against the other team's ace and knowing that, there's little room for error on your end?
Right. I mean, we've had a couple of those situations over the season for sure. Whenever you're pitching on Friday, you're usually going to see the other team's best pitcher. So, it's definitely fun, when you realize you're going up against their best guy and, it's going to be a battle. Biggest thing, I try to think about is control what I can control. I can't control what the other guy on the mound's doing or, anything like that. So, I think just sticking to my plan and what me and Coach Oz have talked about is going to be good. So.
Parrish.
Hunter, what's it been like to pitch in a season that began with crowd limitations and then more people were allowed into games and that sort of thing? Is crowd size something that energizes you or something that you ignore? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, I think, crowd size can always have an effect on anyone. You definitely feel more adrenaline when you're pitching in front of 5,000 to 10,000 people, whereas during the inter squad there's 20 people in the stands maybe. So there's definitely a difference. Obviously we started the season out with limitations, but it still felt like a pretty normal game as far as the crowd, and we've got more and more people in there, so kind of just going from half capacity to pretty much full. It definitely gives you energy, gives you adrenaline. So looking forward to the crowd this weekend for sure.
Thank you.
If there are no further questions for Hunter, we appreciate your time. And again, best of luck this weekend.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Up next, we're going to have Coach Barry as he gets situated here in front of the camera. You can raise your hand, and we will call on you to ask questions to Southern Miss head coach Barry.
How we doing?
We'll start with Taylor.
Coach, just talking a little bit about FSU, if you've had a chance to kind of check them out over the last few days, what really stands out about their team?
Well, they've got, some really good pitching depth, particularly from the left side. Their numbers are really good as far as staff goes, so it looks like that pitching has really kind of what's carried them. Offensively, they've got power. They're, I think, out of the top 12 programs in the country, home run leaders, they're number 11. So, they have tremendous power and display that. They have a large number of strikeouts, which, indicates that they probably are big swingers and rightfully so. But, a rich tradition club that, certainly knows how to win and has for a long time.
We'll move to Heath.
Coach Barry, I know in the conference tournament you were down maybe a pitcher or so in the bullpen. Are y'all back at full strength now? And if so, is there an option maybe with the 4-game weekend you had to go through, maybe you could move a starter to the bullpen if needed be?
Yeah, I think we'll use every variable option that we have to win each game. But the thing that's different for us, and I don't know if it is for the rest of the teams in the field, but all year long we've been playing with a 30-man travel roster, and now we're down to 27. So that's lightened the load as far as the number of pitchers that we have, carrying 14 right now. Obviously, we exposed Dickerson last weekend in the conference tournament for the first time, trying to anticipate moving forward, being able to use him, knowing, that we were going to be down a couple of arms. So, but yeah, everything is an option there, as it was in that conference tournament of being able to use starters in relief and not getting, taking us deep in the game, but certainly being able to use them for 3 outs, knowing that if we have to use them as a starter later on, that we can.
Trey?
Yeah, Scott, with a game like tomorrow where, you got Hunter going up against, a team, like you said, that's so deep in pitching, so runs could be at a premium. So not just for tomorrow, but also just in the postseason setting in general, where every run is so important. Has there been any talk or more talk about, figuring out like if, there's a runner on first with nobody out in like the second inning, playing small ball type, like stuff like that, because that run could.
Yeah, I don't going into it right now. I certainly haven't looked at that option. That's kind of a game to game, decision on my part of what we'll do. But certainly, with this type of setting and the urgency to win, certainly nothing's off the table that they do or can do.
Parrish?
Hey, Scott, with the state mandated masks, crowd limits kind of going away in the middle of the season, how did that impact attendance for you guys? What kind of crowds did y'all play in front of?
We played in front of good crowds all year long, honestly, Parrish. So, obviously they're at the very beginning, being at 25%, it wasn't a normal crowd that we normally see at Pete Taylor Park. But as things started to open up, the gates started to open up as well, and people started certainly moving to venues that we were playing at, Pete Taylor Park, and even on the road. So, having played at Louisiana Tech where it was at 100% capacity for the conference tournament, I felt like we were back in old times of just normal, good competitive games with good attendance.
You feel like Southern Miss fans will travel well here? You see a bunch of them this weekend?
I think they will. I mean, they certainly did to Ruston. It's about the same distance as it was over there. So, I know in past when we have attended the Oxford Regional, we've had tremendous following. So I don't expect anything different from our fans this weekend. I think they'll be here just like they normally are.
Thanks.
Are there any further questions for Coach Barry? We'll go to Taylor.
Yeah, Coach, just, this is sort of a simple question, but what is going to be the formula for y'all this weekend to win? And what, obviously every game is going to be different, but what do you think you need to do really well this weekend to win?
Yeah, I think we need to continue to pitch. I think we need to continue to get deep in the games and not expose our bullpen and really tax them, because the deeper you get in this tournament, the more important that the pitching is going to be. Obviously, offensively, we're going to have to continue to swing the bats. We're going to have to be able to situational hit, particularly, be able to drive runners in, get those all important 2-out hits. And we're going to have to take care of the ball. I think what we saw over there in Ruston in a couple of those games, we gave up some key outs, that really came back to haunt us. And so we're going to have to take care of the ball defensively better than what we did over there in some situations.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Again, these will be provided on the Ole Miss FTP as well as the Ole Miss Rebels YouTube channel. In the meantime, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you, everybody.